Hey everybody, and welcome to the Hurdyburg Internet Broadcast Network. We are broadcasting live on our YouTube channel, and for those of you that are joining us for the first time, because we always invite the public, we basically canceled out the cameras and we do our radio broadcast out of our state-of-the-art studios here in Round Rock, Texas. Really, we do. And you will be hearing an outbound show, and I attempted to use one of the Google Hangout toolbox thing tonight. I've got a little bit more to learn on that, Yvonne, but needless to say, we're starting a show about 95, I believe, and
Really? Wow.
really since we started all this a couple years ago. And we're starting a new segment of 20 shows to catch some of you new listeners up for the first time. We cover Austin business, Austin small business, and we have sponsors that sponsor those 20 shows. Each of the guests that come on with me get an hour, and we really could call it an hour-long podcast if you wanted to. They each get, after the show's over, I build them each a custom player that they can embed this audio file on their website. It's kind of an infomercial for their business. And so, again, we want to thank a bunch of these guys right here because they're most important friends.
Yay!
And that is, we want to thank our sponsors, and we'll be doing some quick shout outs for them throughout the show. We have about 8, and about every 15 minutes, we'll just kind of give you a website and a name of a local business to go support here in Austin. If you're listening to us from outside the Austin area, that's no problem. We're glad to have you. Please share this with your friends if you're listening to it on and you want to push it out. We'd love that. But again, we cover small business. We build them a custom player when the show's over. Each of those businesses can put that custom player with links and everything on it on their website. So it's more for fun. We don't really pay much attention to the live listeners because most of the listeners come back in on the podcast side, which is the embed player that goes on the customer site. So if you are joining us, you're just in for a live treat tonight. We hope we entertain you. But we're going to start off first. First, I want to say hello to Yvonne Layne. Hello,
Hey.
Yvonne.
Hey there, Hurdy.
It took me forever
I know.
to get her on the show. It's like, I don't want to talk on air.
I don't.
I don't like it. And I see it on camera. It's even 10 times worse, although she does really well. So you're actually
I
getting a treat because this is the better half sitting with me tonight. So it'll be
uh,
definitely kitchen table talk, and we're going to get a chance to talk about massage tonight and fascia and apothecary and modalities. We're going to get into a lot of things tonight, and we're going to break it into 15-minute segments. So first of all, let's start off by thanking a couple of our sponsors, AMS
okay.
Garage Doors,
Yes.
amsgaragestores.com here in Austin. They're a 24-hour service garage door company. If your garage door were to break, couldn't get your car out of the garage middle of the night, they'd come take care of it. All their prices are listed on their website. So go check out amsgaragestores.com. And then I want to thank one of our new sponsors, Zoe, who is with Custom Imprint, which does promotional items. So
Oh,
go check
wow.
out custom_imprint.com. So custom or imprint, let me see, it's custom_imprint.com. If that's not right, check imprint. No, it's custom_imprint.com. Check out Zoe, new sponsor. They do promotional items, the pins, all that cool stuff, your name on it. So we're glad to have them on board as a new sponsor of the show. All our sponsors will be linked on the custom player. So once again, thank you guys.
Yay!
And let's do this. Let's ring the doorbell and invite you in the house.
Oh, well, thank you.
Pretty funny, huh?
Uh-huh.
It's
It
almost
is.
they're almost so stupid it's fun. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
the only thing it's lacking on this is they should allow us to import some of the YouTube audio library that they now have on the YouTube side. It'd be nice if they had an app up here for music, and they probably do. And somebody's going to email me and say they do have that. Hurdy, go
No,
grab it. But it'd be
see, you
cool.
need to you need to contact Rich, my friend Rich, and see if he'll help you out.
Well, he helped me on the last set of shows back when
Yeah.
we were on the Windows
And he's got
server.
some groovy tunes.
Yeah, so that's cool. So, Yvonne, we're gonna. This is your show tonight,
I know, it's mine. All mine, mine, mine.
and I've got all your questions in front of me. But when we always start the show, we like to tell people give them a website first to go to, and go
Okay.
slow
All
because your website,
right.
and then don't leave the show, but open up another
Okay.
browser, go look at it, and we'll come back to it later.
All right. Well, my website is Okay, so I'm gonna have to spell it because if I say it, it'd be like a blur. So it's induloveforyou.com, and it's spelled INDULUV, the number 4, the letter U.com. That's
That's
it?
pretty easy, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's okay.
So, so say that again.
No.
Yeah, say that again.
No.
No, Indu,
induloveforyou.com.
Indu, and
Indu.
INDU, then LUV, the
Uh-huh.
number 4,
The number
U,
4,
and the
the letter
letter U, dot com.
U.com.
It's a cool
Yes.
site, by the way. When
It,
you go there, it has got so much cool stuff on
yes,
it. So
I
go
did.
definitely check it
I
out.
did that on purpose. I
Now,
did that on
I
purpose.
know you have a lot of stuff you're involved in, and
Mm-hmm.
so I always like to do beginning of the show, talk to our guest a little bit about them. But before I give you a chance to talk, favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Okay. Last band concert you went to?
Holy crap. I have
Guess.
no idea.
Guess.
I have no idea.
Okay. Favorite genre of music?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I mean, I love jazz, I love rock and roll, I love, classical.
Last concert you went to overseas?
I've never been one to
You
one
didn't go to
overseas.
one
Mm-mm,
overseas? Okay.
mm-mm,
Here,
no,
you don't remember Led
mm-mm.
Zeppelin, Rolling Stones at the Cotton Bowl?
No, God, it's been so long. I'm so old.
That's okay.
I've stopped being a groupie, I guess,
Favorite
like when I was
motorcycle?
30. Like what?
Favorite motorcycle?
My favorite motorcycle.
Harley.
Uh,
Come on.
Actually, I like the American Indians.
There you go. All
Okay.
right. There
All
we go.
right.
All right. That's what I want to get at because that's all
Okay.
you've talked about before.
It is
Well,
not.
you've always said I like those American Indians. You don't hear much about those anymore, right? So there you go.
All
All
right.
right. So you can tell this is going to be a wonderful show tonight, and we'll have fun going through it. So, Yvonne,
Yes.
your broad question is, tell me about you. So, do you want to start in
So,
Texas, or
so
how
I know,
far do you
right?
want to go
Where do I
back?
go? Because I've had such a crazy life. Do I give you the drama, or do I just kind of simplify it?
Well, just, we've only got an
I
hour.
know.
Okay, so, maybe pick a spot and start and just bring us up to speed because we're going to kind of tie it into where you are today.
Well, I mean, first I'll start with I'm actually a mom, and that kind of surprises a lot of people that I'm actually a mom.
What?
Yep.
I'm kidding.
And I'm a grandmother at that. And
What?
so I mean, those are just my two, that's my pride and joy right there is being a mom and a grandma. I mean, it's like up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk up.
I
Okay,
am.
good.
I
All right.
am.
She's been fighting a
I
major
know
sinus
everybody has
infection
to,
for a week,
yeah.
so she's in recovery right
Forgive
now.
me because I've had lost my voice for like four
So you're
days.
not only your mom, your grandmother,
I'm a grandma now.
you got a precious granddaughter.
I know, she's just beautiful.
Cute, cute as
Oh
heck
my
and
God, she's like
funny.
a Spitfire and a half. Ah, she's like Sagittarius, 9 lives, all that.
So how far do you want to go back in your drama?
Well, actually, I think I'm going to start like when I actually became a massage therapist.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'll kind of
Yeah.
shorten it up a
So
little
how did
bit.
that all start?
Well, I was in the process of a career change, and I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. And I remembered one of my guy friends, my bed buddies, used to tell me that I was really good at massaging and that I should have become a massage therapist.
So
And I'd
you did.
always giggle. And I thought, well, is it really like something you could do for like a career? And so I opened up the Yellow Pages one day, and sure enough, there was a massage school, and I dialed the number, and the lady says, "Yeah, well, we're having an open house on Friday. Why don't you come and check it out?" And I was like, "Okay." So I sat and listened to the open house, and next thing I know, I'm signed up, and class starts on Monday.
So you're in.
And I'm in.
All right, cool.
And I didn't, I mean, I I thought when I went home and I thought, okay, so it's only like this amount of money, and it's only like 3 months of my life, and so it's not too much out of my life to either decide, hey, this is for me, or no, this isn't for me. So I went ahead and did it. So then I go up to class, and I look into my schedule, and it shows all the things that we had to learn, and anatomy was one of them. And I was like, crap. What?
What am I getting into?
I
Right?
don't want to learn anatomy. I just want to massage bodies. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get the anatomy part at the very beginning at
Rut-row.
all. I mean, it was like so. All I mean, I barely passed anatomy. I mean, I with the skin of my teeth, and it was college intensive intense anatomy for 3 months. It was
So is
crazy.
that part of the normal going through the
Well,
massage therapy, or is that just an
it's changed
additional
now.
thing?
It's not the same as when I was
Okay.
back then, but there was like two programs. You can either go 3 months or 6 months, and the 3 months was the intensive, and I chose that one to go in and out. Like, let's get it done.
Now, so how long ago was this?
Gosh, 1995.
Right. So I mean, you've been doing this now for you almost what?
Well, I don't know,
Almost going on
24
20
some
years.
years.
Going on 20 years almost.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
95,
yeah,
2005. You're
yeah,
almost 20 years into this gig.
yeah. And the funny thing is the school that I went to was actually the lady who owned it was the lady who started um, massage therapy being registered at that time, and then it became licensed. And so, I mean, I was like in the middle of all of that.
So you're a full-fledged L.M.T, which is a licensed massage
Yeah,
therapist.
now it's licensed, and it's changed because when I was going, it was only 300 hours, and now it's 500. And so, I think they're thinking about changing it again to compete with the rest of the world. I mean, it's just boomed. It's just totally evolved into
So you've
something
seen this.
intense.
So you've seen this now since the beginning. It's almost been 20 years, and you've seen all these changes, right, going
Ah,
on with it. But we're going to talk about later how you've really fine-tuned yourself into a real niche, right?
right.
And we're going to
Yeah.
talk about that later on the show. So how did you get from there to where you're at today?
Okay, so I'm gonna like speed up a little bit into my time. So once I got out of school, I pursued different avenues. Ah.
Sure.
Yeah, I know, right? I like barely passed anatomy. So anyway, once I got out, I went into gosh, what is called ambulance chaser type atmospheres, and I was like, oh, this is scary. I don't think I want to be here.
What does that mean?
So what it is, it's massage companies that are under doctors and lawyers, and they get all those cases and they work on those kind of clients. It's kind
So
of
you
scary
would be
stuff.
put into that
Yeah, that
clientele
was my
base.
first introduction of being into the massage world, and then I realized,
I
this
don't
is
want to be
not
here.
what I want to do.
Okay.
And then I kind of went on my own from there. It literally kind of scared me to not work with any establishment or anything. So I just went solo for a little while. And then I also stayed in the restaurant world, which actually helped me go through the school to begin with and the career change. And so one day I saw this article in the Dallas Morning News regarding a massage therapist that worked on a Dallas Cowboy, and it made her quite famous. And I was reading this article, and I was like, I really want to work for this lady. And so I kind of scoped around and see, all my avenues and see where I could find her and all this other stuff. And the doors weren't opening until one day I was waiting tables, and she came in with a group of gentlemen, and I don't know if they were coaches or something or whatever. And for some reason, I just had enough balls to go, you know what? I really want to work for you. And she was like,
Lord.
she goes, okay. And I go, no, really, I've kept up with you. I mean, I know, your article, and I've known the player that you worked with, and, I mean, I really want to work with you. And so she goes, okay, well, call me at this number, and I'll chit chat with you. And the next thing I know, I'm actually working with her. And it just, I guess my world just totally changed after that, because I was under the umbrella of two major sports, teams, and adding on to uh, the chiropractor guy who started the chiropractic school. I was under there. I mean, it just bloomed from there.
Yeah,
So,
so
I mean, I just kind of went, shoo.
yeah, you went in and got in that established field, and as you said, you're not going to talk about who they are, but you were
No.
ended up working within the two big major sports arenas and it all in
Mhm.
the Parker School, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah.
of chiropractic, right?
Yeah.
And so, all right, so that's where you are today. Now,
Well, no, that was okay. So then
that
after a
okay,
while,
because
I
we're
know
we're
because
getting to the
there's
first
a
15-minute break, so
yeah.
if you could wrap around the corner here,
Okay, so
we got a
actually,
lot to talk about.
so actually, I, I kind of like wanted to get out of that world because I didn't want to work on the players. I didn't want to be stuck in the because I wanted to broaden my knowledge of injuries and muscles and stuff. So it's totally a different. I mean, my mindset is totally different than what people think, and so I kind of left and went into like the public world. So I started massaging people, the general public and stuff, and learning about them and learning about their issues and their things, and kind of went that way. And then lo and behold, the players found me again.
And they started
And next
abusing
thing
you.
I know, I'm in that world again. And so, but after that, I mean, I was in that world for a little while, and then I met
That
you.
was a mistake.
That was a big mistake.
I hear you.
It
I
was.
know. I
It
get it.
was.
I get it.
And
It's
so
okay. Thank you.
I
We're
kind of,
live, by the way, just so you know. Okay.
whatever. So,
Uh,
so
oh boy.
after all that stuff that in my world, I said, I met you, and then I guess I decided to have a personal life instead of a professional life, and so I left Dallas and came to Austin,
And here you are.
and here I
And
am.
you're working, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff you do, but we're bumping into our first break. Woohoo! And you made it
Yay!
through it, so I'm going to give you applause for
I
making it through
know.
it,
I
and
know.
then introduce our next couple sponsors. Hey, I picked up another new sponsor.
Oh, good for you.
Um, CPR cell phone here in Round Rock.
Oh,
They
I love
fix
them.
they
Yeah.
fix cell phones, iPads, tablets, Big Apple monitors, computers. I want to tell you something. These guys are awesome. They're right here in Round Rock. They're over at La Frontier off Sundance Parkway, right next to Jimmy John's. If you want to reference, and I should charge them for saying their name, but that's okay. I won't. But anyhow, CPR, cell phone repair, Round Rock, cracked screens, water damaged, lenses in cameras, phones, taking them apart, putting them together. They're awesome. They got a great staff, and you can find them on the web at cpr-roundrock.com. cpr-roundrock.com. You got a cool phone from them.
I did.
They gave you a Galaxy.
I know. I love my phone.
And
And
they got
I
refurb
never
phones
thought I
and
would
everything.
say I would like my phone, but
But
I
you do.
do.
You'd love it. And I will tell you that they do something else really cool. If you live in the Round Rock or North Austin area and you get up to their store, if you have any of those old cell phones laying around in your cabinets you don't use anymore, old ones, doesn't matter, take them to them. If they can refurb them, they then turn around and sell them, but they give a portion of all their sales to the Shriners Hospital for Children. So
That's
they give a
awesome.
donation back off on the refurbs, and they have great refurb phones. So if you guys break your phone, don't have insurance, and it costs too much to buy a new one, go see these guys. So that's cpr-runrock.com, new sponsor. Thank you guys for being a sponsor. Thank you, Jeff. And I'm very connected to them. They're a great company, and they're having some monster months, but they can fix anything. Those guys are awesome. So thank you. All right, so we're back. Da-da-da-da!
Yay!
She's back in the house.
Wow.
They're so stupid.
I know they really
But
are.
that's what makes it corny fun, right?
Like,
They go, wow, this is like a real
wow.
professional show, right? All right,
Wow.
so now we get into Yvonne, uh, some stuff that people don't get, but by the time we're done tonight, they're going to get it.
Well, okay, so
Some of
I'll kind of interrupt you because so from there, what brought me down here is actually to find my specialty or my passion. I really had to find out, you know, and find out what it was that I was good at because I wanted to evolve. I
You
wanted
just
to
wanted to
be
figure out where you wanted to be.
yeah, I wanted to go in a different direction. And so fascia, which actually has become a buzzword nowadays,
So
but
what is it?
actually, what is
Yeah,
it?
we hear about this word all the time,
I
and
know.
you talk
It's
about it
really,
in the massage world, and you hear it, and people look at you with like deer in the headlights,
they
and
do.
and
They
so
do.
what?
They're
What?
like,
Let's get a good
and
definition
the
of
reason
this.
why they do that because it's pronounced so many different ways. And
Fascia,
no, well, I
fascia.
mean,
I'm just kidding.
no, they really do. I mean,
Okay,
even doctors pronounce it differently. I mean,
okay.
I've had doctors
So what is
like
it?
say it. So, and I was taught to pronounce it ah when it's solo by the word by itself, and when it has another word attached to it, it's ah. So so by itself it's fascia. If I add myo to the word, it's myofascial. So
Gotcha.
that's how it, I mean, I was taught how to pronounce it. So that's why I call it fascia. I mean, it's just the way I was taught.
So what is it?
Okay, so it's an actual connective tissue in your body. Just, I mean, it's like God.
Can you
It's this
describe it?
miraculous
Can
thing.
you
I
can you
can.
can you put a word picture
Okay,
together?
so you know how you peel an orange and there's that white membraney stuff,
Yeah,
and when you take off the skin, the shape of that orange still remains intact
because of the white stuff
because
around it.
that white membraney stuff, it holds it together. It protects that pulp on the inside, right? And it compartmentalizes it. Well, your fascia does the same thing to your body. It protects you, it gives you your shape, and it compartmentalizes you. And they're learning so much about this tissue. I mean, it's just supernova, and it's really changing the way, you know, therapists are looking and viewing your body and your therapy, actually. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so it's it's a connective tissue from your, I mean, and everybody thinks it's like compartmentalized or sectioned off like your muscles or your bones. It's not. It's actually, it's like one webbing uh connective tissue, like from head to toe. I
So
mean,
let's
it's
go back
like
to your analogy.
one,
So if you peeled my skin,
when if I peel your
so if you
skin,
did an orange,
you have this white membraney stuff
that's
just
holding
like that,
holding me together.
that's holding you together.
All right.
And
Gotcha.
it protects you, it gives you your shape, and it compartmentalizes you. But here's the other kicker, because people think it's only around muscles. It's not.
It's around a
So
lot.
there's
Ah,
layers of it. A upper layer and a lower layer within your system. So it's around your nerves, your arteries, your veins, your major organs, your muscles, and your bones. I mean, it's around all of that, protecting it. It's like the guard. It just it's way cool stuff. And over the years, and I don't mean like yesterday, over the years, and I haven't totally figured out if this is like quote on the actual overall synopsis of it, because in the medical world they're still not saying anything about this, but in my world they are. And I was told that the doctors have labeled it as a sense organ, which is huge in my world. It's huge. And what it does is it allows me to say, oh, well, it's got a job. And now I'm understanding what its job is. And so the senses, when they say what the senses is, and I say it senses stress, and I'm like, ha, well, there you go. So when it's just a huge, I mean, it's just a huge, great tissue. And
okay.
I'm
So
like a
let
nerd when it comes to it. I
so
mean,
being around you a little bit and hearing bits and pieces of this, because you're not allowed to talk to me about clients you have, and so I can't ask you questions, right?
yeah,
Which is part of
man,
the
I know.
law. I know, but I don't get to hear all the conversations, right? So my point is that why is it so important, and what does it do to you if you
It's
don't?
important in my field because it allows me to understand you a lot more. So when you start telling me, where your discomforts are and where your concerns are and where the aches and stuff is, and I kind of have to look at your body structure and how you're standing, and like if one shoulder is drooping versus, or you're hunched over or something like that. It's not, I don't just view you as it's your muscle tissues are causing the problem, or your bone structure is causing the problem. There might be another factor involved in that that's maybe causing the issue that I could manipulate, do my massaging, the effleurage or pétrilage, or all of our things that we do to
Let's use an example. I broke my Achilles tendon in half back in 1997.
okay.
I had surgery. I went through rehab. It's put back together. I can walk. I'm fine. What does fascia do after an injury?
Oh gosh, it does all kinds of things, and it just depends on. So fascia has several levels of engagement, and that's another thing when what they're learning. And so it's there, and it may not be totally engaged there, but it's there, and it's pretty freaking tough. I mean, it's strong enough to pull a bus. I mean, it's some serious like stuff. So in surgery, you could, I mean, it can go up to a pretty high level of protection. I mean, we're talking somebody has literally changed the shape of you. And so you've got a tissue in there that's going, I really don't think that's a good idea. I don't want this injured again. I need to go in there and protect it so that nothing else happens to it. I mean, it's really kind of smart, and it does its thing. So in the your orthopedic surgeons or PTs and stuff, they want you to move that baby. They'll take you through all kinds of stuff so that it doesn't lock in place, so that it doesn't protect, so that it doesn't just freeze up like hard bone. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
So fascia can. My point is that it can build up, or is it just get really different in the look and the feel and the way it senses after something like that? Or is that just a question we don't need to address right now? Get more
Yeah,
into the basics of why. Okay,
yeah,
so
because
what?
that's
So
really
so
technical, and it's gonna be
okay,
kind of
so we'll stay
nerdy.
away from that. So
Okay.
so what? Because it's just a guess on my part. So what is the impact of in what you do? What do you do to help? What would be a typical client? What would be the impact
So
of your massage with them on fascia?
because fascia has several levels of engagement, all right, I deal with a plethora of individuals. It's not necessarily somebody who comes out of surgery and has been cleared by the doctor, cleared by the physical therapist, and sent out into the real world and say, okay, you're good, keep going. To somebody that just woke up out of bed and says, I just, my neck doesn't move. It's just a plethora of stuff. I mean, it's just everything. That protective tissue, it just wreaks havoc, we're learning.
All right. So one thing I've always hear you get really frustrated with is when somebody says, "Oh, I got this great." You hear these buzzwords, deep tissue massage, and you just kind of,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Now
was
you're now
hoping you wouldn't do
now
that.
now you're getting that look on your face. So
I
what? Well,
was
just tell me
hoping
what
when you do
just
that.
tell me what the difference is.
There,
Don't
well,
get into
there's even different types of deep tissue
right,
out there.
but on your end of it, what when you working on fascia, what do you do? What do you call it?
The reason why I don't say deep tissue is because the masses understand deep tissue as deep pressure. When I work with fascia, the pressure changes depending on, what the area does for me. I mean, it's just different. And it's like this. In old school, we were taught to stretch out cramps. In new school, we're taught to compress and tire them out. And that's the very reason. That compression could be light. It could be, holding it really, hard. It could be having to go in and doing muscle fiber, cross-fiction, stripping stuff. I mean, it just varies. Whatever it takes to get that thing to let go, basically.
Without getting into a client, because you can't,
Nope.
what uh, let's just take an example of me. My shoulder, I come to you and I say, Yvonne, I'm really having some shoulder difficulties. I don't know. So you would go through an assessment with them,
Correct.
correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then map out a plan based on that assessment, right, with them and what you're going to work
And the
on.
assessment, now that we know that, the assessment's long.
Yep.
It's not what, you just fill out this short little form and tell me that you've got some discomfort there or pain, and I mean it's long. I mean, I literally have to go, okay, so is it a deep pain, a superficial pain? What's the level? Is it from 1 to 10, 10 being the worst? Is it a 5? It is a 7? I mean, if it goes up to a 7 or a 10, I have to literally go, okay, well, if you're up at a 10, we need to really think about, your type of therapy and how bad it is. Are you about to cry? I mean, it's pretty intense.
One more quick question, and we'll take a break and get to the next segment.
Okay.
What is the purpose of your massage? What will it do for people?
The best way to describe it is releasing the fascia gives them better range of motion. Okay. It helps relieve some of the discomfort. I mean, it, and because it's such a sense organ and it senses stress, I mean, believe it or not, when I massage people, it's more relaxing than it is anything because I want to de-stress you because that de-stressing automatically disengages that fascia. I mean, it's so magical of just, getting that sigh out of you and just, it's magical to get that fascia to let go. So I mean, it it's not like the $1 million, therapy kind of a thing, but I just love it's my passion. I just love working with it. It's just amazing for me.
And so, in review, before we go on the break, the fascia is that, like when you peel the orange, the white stuff you see that holds the pulp in is the thing that holds it together. We have that throughout our body from head to toe. It's a
Yes.
protection device for everything, right? Organs, muscles. It's just all part of our
Well, that's
skeletal,
one of its
right?
job.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
it protects us.
Uh-huh.
Keeps it so. For those of you who never heard of it, it's I've been around it enough with Yvonne now to see some lessons and stuff. It's pretty cool
Yeah.
stuff. I've seen a lot of fascia because I remember we used to deer hunt. You'd see the fascia when you
Right.
would
So I mean, yeah,
and you
yeah,
didn't realize, I didn't even know what it was.
that gristle.
We
And
thought, what
and
is this?
and you know what? In the old school medical like cadaver school classes and stuff, they used to chunk that stuff. They didn't
They
even
didn't know what
really.
it was either.
Well, they didn't. It's not that they didn't know what it was. They didn't care
Right. So there
because
you
it was
go.
in the way. They
Right.
wanted to know what they thought was the good stuff, which was the nerves and
Right.
the cells and the muscles and the organs and all the other stuff. So I
Okay.
mean, they kind of bypassed it.
All right. So congratulations again.
Yay!
You did good. And what's the website again?
It's I guess a www.induluv the number 4 the letter u.com induloveforyou.com.
There you go. Go check it out. And we're on our second break. And I want to thank Mike O'Neill is mkoneal.com. Mike O'Neill's a money coach. He
Yeah,
also
he's
does
cool.
corporate training, working on corporate training. He does a lot of speaking engagements around the country. He is getting ready to start a series on the 7 most effective people, that Covey book of, highly effective habits of successful people.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing a discussion on that. So you can go find his website. Go check out Mike O'Neill, mkoneal.com. Mike, thanks for being a sponsor. You now sponsor just about every show since day one. We want to thank you for that sponsorship. I want to thank Danny L. Smith, DannyLSmith.com, mortgage banker, 30 years, is a John Maxwell certified coach. Matter of fact, I'll be starting 2 of his classes this week, a mastermind group and E-Myth Revisited book that we're going through. Go check out his blog website at dannylsmith.com. He does guerrilla marketing for realtors, mastermind groups. He's a John Maxwell certified coach. And if you need a home loan, mortgage banker, 30 years experience, knows his stuff. And so I think his typical loan is the jumbo loan area at the 417,000 up. So go check him out, which is really cool.
Yeah.
DannyLSmith.com. So
Yeah.
we're back, and we've only
Yay.
time flies.
It really
We've got
does.
30 minutes to go, and
Um,
we've got a lot to
s-
talk about. And
uh,
so here we are, and we want to thank you, listeners that are checking us out. Thank you for listening to Hurley Burke Internet
yes,
Broadcast
thank
Network. And
you.
we'll have this up on archive, which is really where she's going to get all our listeners because she'll have it on our website. So this is what we do.
Yeah.
All right. So you have some more questions getting into some of the other areas of stuff you do. We're
Okay.
just leaving the fascia and the massage.
Okay.
But what are modalities?
Modalities are tools that we massage therapists or any other that use in its titles or ways of using tools in what we do. So it could be like trigger point therapy to myofascial release to cranial sacral therapy to hot stones. I mean, those are modalities. And within those, we kind of pick and choose of what we want to do in your therapy, depending on whatever it is that you say to us, or sometimes clients will come to us and they say, well, I want some hot stone massages. Okay, all right. So it just depends.
So
But
that's a
that's what
modality.
modality is.
So it's a different aspects of that massage therapy. Okay.
It's different things that we do in massage therapy.
Okay.
hmm
Good. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right. So, and how do they? You've got the next question is how do they help clients?
Okay. So each modality specializes certain things that they'll do. So like in hot stone massages, it just depends. Like in the spa world, it's for relaxation, to pamper you and, get you in that little warm, fuzzy, happy place. Um, well,
The warmth. Okay, I like it. Go ahead.
and and then if you were, yeah, yeah, yeah. And let's say, if I was in a chiropractic office and I had like a runner that came in and I may want to use the hot stones to um, help circulate some of the stuff in their muscle systems to make it not so sore. I mean, it's just heat. I mean, it's just one of those things. So it varies. So that's why modalities are so different. So like in cranial sacral therapy, there's it deals with just straight with the spinal cord and the
Mm-hmm.
head and all that other stuff. So it's totally a different aspect of viewing the body versus, and I don't know. I mean, I was taught in the very beginning about trigger point, and I mean, and that was a session. It wasn't really kind of grouped and formulated into, stuff as it is nowadays. So deep tissue is included with trigger point, which I was taught solely as that's what was a modality. But in, you know, that has a place in massage also, in if you have like an injury type, deal. So and there's active release. There's another one of that, which is, you know, so different, and it deals with, the client participating in the therapy versus, a Swedish massage where the client is totally, you know, out for the count and the therapist does all the work. So it's totally there's just so many
So
out
it
there.
just depends on what the client needs and what they choose, right? They have several choices in the
Correct.
modality area. They may
Correct.
not call them modality, but they may come in and say, I
Right.
want a
And
relaxing stone massage, or I want
And
foot
so what
massage, or
what I do is my modalities kind of branch off from working with fascia. So I use tools and modalities and things that help me, manipulate that tissue as well as the muscle fibers as well. So I'll add in, I mean, and this is where I wanted to evolve myself. This is where I wanted to expand. And so I added in aromatherapy. So I got training in clinical aromatherapy to actually get more familiar with the essential oils, to see if I want to incorporate that into my sessions. I've added into yoga, went through yoga training to see if I wanted to add in, restorative yoga or meditation into the sessions and help them. Or I added, my new thing is the community herbalist, and that is an interesting gig because that world is so there's like clinical herbalists, there's traditional herbalism, and there's stuff, and I kind of didn't go to that level. I kind of keep it more fun and more simple. And even in yoga, I kind of keep it simple. I don't really go into classes and stuff like that. It's more just little, branches off to help me, with the fascia and the stuff
Yeah,
and,
so
and the
all your
massage.
modality really wraps around the fascia, and that's the area that you play
Right,
discovery in
right.
to build people up through that or work
Hmm.
through people through that, and we'll get into that. So, and because that's going to be probably in your last section, we're going to talk
Yeah.
about. So, here's the question of the day:
What?
how often do I need to get a massage,
Oh, I
and
get that
why?
so often. I get that
Because
so
it just
often.
seems like a pretty common question.
It
If
really is. And
it's
it's the most complicated
because there could be
answer.
different reasons to get it. Right? You could be hurt and need it for X amount of time, or you could be just somebody who wants one every day.
Well, there's financial reasons,
That would be the first one, I would
there's
think.
time, I mean, if you have the time to actually come in and take care of, whatever it is that you want to
Right.
do, what your goal is. I mean, the reasoning for coming to getting a massage, if it's totally relaxation and just to pamper yourself once a month or once a year, versus I've got something really that's been, annoying me, and I really would like, some massage therapy to see if that, is it's part of, something that will help me. I mean,
Sure.
there's all kinds of, so it's a hard answer. It really is. And it just I giggle because there are therapists and, other, I mean, like doctor therapist type, chiropractors and orosties. And I mean, they give you time limits of actually of, when they'll, how many sessions you need to come and stuff like that.
And that could be dictated
And
by
I
insurance too, right?
can't, and yeah, some of it is, but I personally can't do that because, I've had people, just have to see me that 1 hour versus a little bit longer. I mean, because, it's just not this miraculous cure-all. So, I mean, everybody's different. I mean, if I was like the thing, I mean, I would be a millionaire, and I'm really not. I'm just pretty humble and kind of do my thing.
Right. And so the answer to that question is I would imagine that then when you're done meeting with the client first time, you've done the assessment, you've
Hmm.
gone through what's going on with them, if they want to start, you can kind of
I,
talk to them on a case by case
yeah, I
basis,
do, and
massage by massage to see how they're doing,
I
follow up
do,
with
and
them,
and
right?
it and it I yes, I encourage them to come see me a little bit more. And the reason is it's because of that fascia. I mean, it's just a beast. I mean, if you don't take care of it by, with exercise or some other stuff and proper exercise, I mean, and so that's another thing that I do. I mean, I have this network system with me that I actually send people to. I mean, I have, and she's been on the air, my yoga teacher, Sadani, which is yoga therapy. And
Right.
I'm like, I was like, you need, I said, I have suggestions, and I said, this might be an avenue for you to go to and do because there's, I'm just a massage therapist. I mean, this is beyond my scope, and this is, you might want to
And
go
that's
this
a good and
direction.
that's a good question too. That the average person that is coming to you that wants to work with you for a while may have something that is beyond what you do,
Oh, yeah, it
and
happens a lot.
so part of your industry is being honest, upfront, and telling people, look, this is something that's out of my scope. This is something I
Yeah.
don't want to mess with. This is something that you need to address somewhere else. Let me refer you out to that.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely. Absolutely. It's huge because they just want to get well, and they just want this to be the last stop. And sadly enough, you there it's just not. I
And you
mean,
guys are under some pretty strict laws
yeah.
as part of your ongoing certification yearly and updating your license and everything. You
Oh
guys
yeah.
are under some pretty strict guidelines of what you can and
And
can't
cannot
do,
do.
say and do,
Oh,
right? When
absolutely.
people just got out of surgery or they've been sick or you have,
Yeah.
that's part
Oh
of your
yeah.
assessment, and that by law
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to go through that with them, period.
I do. I
So
do.
understand that it's not just a feely good. You walk in and you get one question,
Well,
and
I mean, it is. No, some
no,
people it
some people it is.
is.
I get
No,
that.
some
I get
people it
that. You want
is.
that little back chair massage at the
It
dealership waiting for
is.
the car. That's
It's
fine.
just it's their session. I mean, whatever it is that they come in is their
But
session.
you
But we
do
just
it
kind of
because it's a law for yourself. I mean, that
right.
right? That you
hmm
want to protect
Yeah,
yourself too.
there's
It's the world we live in.
contraindications.
It's the world we live in. Yes,
Yes.
that's part of it. All right. So we have 15 more minutes to go. And time just
I
flies, man.
have
I
no
want to
idea
thank.
what we talked about, but I hope it
No,
was
you did
good.
really good. You've explained things really well. I want to thank Jeff Steck with Tyler Erica Systems LLC. He is a duct tape uh, certified consultant, and he helps big companies in the $1 million range that are bumping into the wall where they just don't know what direction, or they got to pull some outsourcing or resources together and they're not sure what they need to do. Jeff Steck's really good. And again, duct tape authorized consultant, and name of his business is Tyler Erica. That's his son and daughter run name together,
That's good.
Systems LLC, which is very creative. So
It
and
is.
they'll be linked on the custom player, and you'll see those on the broadcast channel and everything. So if you, I don't, the website's really easy to spell. It's TYLERICA and then Systems LLC. Tyler Erica Systems LLC, just certified
That is
duct tape
easier.
consultant.
Yeah.
So go check him out. And thank you, Jeff, for your second sponsorship. So he's on his going into his
Yay.
40 shows with us. So we're really pleased to have him as sponsorship. And we really enjoy
Absolutely.
doing covering these Austin businesses. It's been kind of fun. All right. So we start a little bit early, start about 5 till we've got about 10, 11 minutes left,
Okay.
Yvonne. So let's give them
Aw.
the website again.
Okay. It's www.induluv, the number 4, the letter U.com. It's
That's awesome.
induloveforyou.com.
Yep, and it's got a lot of information. You can go down many dirt roads on the site. I highly recommend it. Okay, so let's talk about Indu's
Indu's Apothecary.
Apothecary. What the heck?
I know,
That's
right?
a tongue teaser,
It
twister, teaser,
is.
twister, whatever.
Well,
Hold it. I
so
said it right.
uh, so God,
What's
what?
it called again?
Indu's
Apothecary. All
Apothecary.
right, so let's talk about that.
So I want
And
the
urban
name.
hippie.
Yeah,
Urban hippie. We'll talk about the spelling in it.
Herban.
I know, but we'll right, but
Herban
it's
hippie.
urban hippie,
Okay.
and we'll spell that
Yeah.
in a minute.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay. So Indu actually. Okay. So I was searching for a name, and I was working up in Dallas in a clinic, and this girl one day was new, and she had this name Indu, and she kept saying, "God, I hate that name," and I was like, "God, I love that name," and I asked her, I said, "Well, what does it mean?" And she goes, "Well, it's Sanskrit, and it means dry, bright drop or moon." And I thought, "Oh, that's way cool. I want that name." And so I've just kind of kept it. And in the apothecary world, there's always like moon this and moon that, and so I decided to use the word Indu instead in replace of moon.
So what is
So
apothecary?
so the apothecary is it's not your typical apothecary. It's just an online store, and this is the part of me that wanted to expand and
Right.
and create.
I get that.
And so when I was going through the herb school and the aromatherapy school and stuff, and I realized I don't really want to be the person that mixes all that stuff. And so I decided I was going to like hang out with a bunch of herbalists and see what their potions and stuff are, and then put it in a shop and then sell it. And so that's the theme of the actual apothecary. These but I also have essential oils in my apothecary, which I just launched out. And the reason why I launched these oils out is because in the stores there's so many different oils and there's so many distillations and there's so many stuff, and I wanted to bring out an oil of what I was taught in aromatherapy school. And so the oils that I have selected, and it's not that they're like the best or anything, it's just I've went through the chain line of what I was taught of what essential oils are. So I get these oils out of a vendor in Asheville, North Carolina, who actually deals with farms that produces the oils, and they get GC tested, so I know what the properties are in them. I know the constituents that are in them. So I mean, I went to the route to where I actually kind of know, where they came from, about them and stuff like that. And it's not to, say I'm better than doTERRA or Young Living Oils or anything like that. It's just that I've just decided to go that route.
So you've got, I'm looking at, you gave me a little flip chart here. I got
Uh-huh.
a little
Yeah.
ring on these cool laminated, and I've got all these essential oils and what they're for and what's in them. And
Well, I
so
mean,
I get that, but my
okay.
point is, I'm coughing, sorry.
Yes.
My point is, you've got your own label,
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to do that, but the
but
guys talked me into
but
doing
you
it that
do. I
way.
mean, you have your
Okay.
own label, and are
Yeah.
some of these already available on your store, on your website? Can they get to it yet, or are you still in process?
I'm still in
Okay.
design mode.
All
I
right.
mean, this is a slow process.
It's a lot of stuff. I get
It's a
that.
lot of
Right. I
stuff,
get that.
and I'm a slow bloomer. I mean,
And
I like
you think about
to,
everything quite a bit
I
before you
do,
implement it, and
I
and you're
do.
artsy, so you
I'm
get
very
all
slow at it.
the
Everybody's like real fast and they just kind of dive right in, and
you just kind of
I
take a
kind
little
of,
bit of
I
time.
kind of sit in a little like crock pot
But you
and
have
then
access to
kind
these,
of
and
deal.
the cool thing is the clients that work with you on massage and stuff. I've seen you work with them on
Yeah.
the oils that you have, and
But I
that's
don't just
another.
work with
I
my oils. I mean,
I
yeah,
understand, but I'm
yeah.
just saying that you have
I just,
availability to them
right.
on this and have helped them with this,
Yeah,
which
and
is kind of cool.
well, I got them because I mean, because I've got the botanical names on there. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you've got
really
she's got
put
these cool
the
laminated
effort into
pictures.
actually
Yeah, this is
making them
cool.
the way I was taught to actually, the species. I know what species and that
Yeah,
there
you can
are,
ask her
and
just about
I
anything
mean,
on these
it's just,
plants and stuff, and
yeah.
she knows. And I'll tell you,
But
it's a
it's not to
no,
actually be famous or to be another
no,
doTERRA
but
or
you've
Young
got
Living.
you like his
It's
first
more
one,
out of
peppermint
love.
organic essential oil, and on this laminated page is a picture of your bottle, and it goes into
Right.
all the stuff
Well, I
in it.
mean,
That's cool.
but I do it for love. So it's more
Right.
of a love
Yeah.
for, and
Indie love
if
for
they're,
you. Right.
yes, exactly.
Indu love for you.
So I mean, if they want to know, it's there. But I mean,
Okay.
it's not to be
Spell
famous.
the next part of this.
What?
Urban.
The Herban hippie?
Yeah, spell it because people are not going to have a clue how to spell it.
It's HERB-N
And
hippie.
where'd you get that?
Oh,
Where'd that come
I don't
from?
know. It just kind of came up.
But
But
why? Okay.
okay, so the hippie was
Well, we know
everybody
everybody knows
calls me
it's
the
your hippie
hippie.
chick. Your hippie chick.
They
I tell
all
everybody
I mean,
that.
I don't know how long they've always
Your
just
hippie chick.
they
So we know
yeah.
that. So
So
what about the
that's
urban?
that's just a label I
Is
cannot
that
get
from
rid
the
of.
herbs you mess with and everything?
So it's that's the second part of the involvement, because in the herb community, I mean, we've learned to want to have to grow them and
Right.
really kind of sit with them and learn about them and get intimate with them. So within that evolved in wanting to have a garden. And so then I became, I mean, it just so instead of saying, and I live in a a small environment, and I'm a city girl. I'll never ever be a country girl. And it just the wilderness, and I know I can visit, but to actually live in there, I don't think it's gonna ever happen.
Okay.
So I'm a city girl, and so that's urban gardening.
That's where that comes from.
So
That's what I was getting
that's where
to.
it came
So
from.
you just put the word H, It made
So
it sound
instead of
like urban, but herb.
so I deal with herbs, and so it's
Right, makes
basically
sense. Okay, got it.
a herb.
And you have a whole
Yeah,
section on your website of this too, right?
right.
Right. So
But it had to evolve from there too because I got to support the garden.
I
And so
understand.
that's when the jams and with
Okay.
herbs in it. I mean, so it just
So
kind of keeps
way
going.
ahead here. So
I
so you're
know.
master gardener in Williamson County, correct?
That's one of the things. But I mean, I can't
But
really.
I know, but
Yeah,
you've been through the course for yourself.
it's right. I mean, I just did that to
Learn some
get some
more.
smarts.
Right, and that's what you did, but you got that certification, correct?
Right. It doesn't, yeah, it's
And you go up there and
not,
volunteer and work and do work
yes.
on the farm, right? Or
Well, their
whatever
garden.
their
It's
garden. But I'm
not,
saying, but it's
it's
part of
still a
the. But it
city
was
thing.
N.M. taught all this stuff, so you got your master gardener. But you also do something really cool. It's kind of fun. I get to taste, and that is you make some cool jams.
Yes.
And you'll add stuff like lavender in them with the
I do
strawberry, and people love them. And you got some
vanilla
orange and
bean
vanilla
and
bean. So if you
so
guys ever need jams, just bug her on her website. She makes cool jams, and if she gets a batch, she'll give you some.
but I'm in lab mode because I picked up a food
That's
nerd.
scary.
I did. I
That's
mean,
very
because I
scary.
wanted to make sure that I'm not going to kill anybody because
Oh,
it's
don't say that.
scary.
Don't say that. Now, I will tell you that she experiments in the kitchen,
It,
and I'm not allowed in it. And
you're not.
she's she's
Nobody's allowed in
she
it.
makes the best strawberry lavender jams, and these orange malade
So,
are
well,
good.
no, the
So
mimosa. So, and so now I've picked up a actual food chemist to literally, you know, walk me through the proper channels
I
to
understand, and that
actually.
person's awesome.
He's really
I've met
cool.
this guy. This guy knows
He's
his
really
stuff, and
cool.
he's really helping Yvonne out. And I'm telling you, the guy knows his stuff, and he's
Yeah.
so convinced Yvonne knows her stuff that
Yeah,
he's
he's
trying to
already
get her to
wanted
go
to get me.
global.
I know he's
He's trying to
already.
get you to go global,
I
and I'm going
swear to God.
global. She can't even go local. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't want to go.
I
I'm
know
like,
you
I
want
have
to
to
keep
sit
it
him down
simple
and
and
say,
low.
okay, no,
Right,
like, okay,
kill me,
look at me. No,
kill me. I
I'm
want you to
just
do
doing this for
this.
fun. Ah,
That's the worst, cha-ching.
I have no
That's just
desire.
lame.
No.
Okay, so we're got to wind down, but a little call to action here. All right, so people have heard this. They're going to hear it on your website when you get your own custom player and you embed it, right?
Okay,
And they're
all
going to
right.
want to call you and ask you questions about massage. So if they want to visit with you, sit down with you, go through your plan, go through what you do for them, all they have to do is contact you. How? What's the best way to contact Yvonne?
By phone.
Okay, and you
And
have a
that the number
number.
is 214-702-9305.
Can you repeat that?
214-702-9305.
But if they don't go through that number and they forget it or they don't write it down,
Then
they
they can
can
go through
always
the
go to your website,
website
which repeat it one more time because we're
is
getting ready to finalize the show here.
www.induluv, the number 4, u.com.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So did you have a good time?
I did.
Did you remember what last band concert you went to?
I have no freaking
No
clue.
clue at all.
No,
Okay. Well, there we
none.
go.
I mean, it's been so long. I mean,
I understand.
I, I'm just, I'm boring.
Well, guys,
I'm
for those of you that
boring
were
now.
listening tonight, we thank you for chiming in. This was the first of 20 shows. We'll be back here every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I always post it on the broadcast, the Hurdyburg Broadcast Network group on Facebook. I always put it on G+. Please feel free to visit Yvonne's website, and when she gets there, she'll be able to have this on her site, and you can ask her questions and call her. But I would highly take her up on the massage thing. She really knows what she's doing. She's really humble, and the kind of things she's done and worked on, she's not allowed to do. She's not allowed to talk about that, nor should she. So just know that she knows her stuff, and she's
I'm
really
gonna
good.
wring your neck
And
one
that's okay.
day.
But that's the show, and I own the
It's
show.
not even
So,
about
but
that.
I know it's not. I know it's not. You're
Okay.
simple, and I get that. But my point is, at some point, you got to know that you're an expert in your field, and you
I'm
really are.
not.
Yes,
You
okay,
know,
you are. So never mind. But anyhow, we had a great time tonight. Thank you for being on the show. Did you have fun?
I did.
That's awesome. You did great, and you know what? One of the best guests I've ever had. How's that?
Aw, you liar.
I'm not lying.
Yeah.
You were really good tonight. It's a good show.
I mean, if I think about it, I mean, I've talked to a lot of radio now TV announcers, and I have.
I know you have.
I've hung
You
out with a
have.
lot of them.
You have.
I mean, yeah,
We got a buddy in Dallas that
yeah,
you were personal friends with on Fox. It's
yeah,
just a great guy,
yeah.
So I mean, anyhow, you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll see you around the corner. This has been the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network right here in Round Rock, Texas. We'll be back covering another local Austin business next week. So come back and join us right here live on YouTube every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Good night, everybody.
Peace.